Awaken the healer within, a Buddhist path to natural self-healing. Introduction, the silent crisis of modern healing. Picture this, you wake up, still tired. Your back aches, your mind races. You reach for the same pill you took yesterday and the day before. You convince yourself it's necessary, but deep down, a quiet question lingers, is this all there is to healing? In a world dominated by pharmaceuticals and quick fixes, we've forgotten something essential. The body was designed to heal. Nature heals. Stillness heals. The mind heals. But somehow, we've become so disconnected from these truths that even the idea of natural healing seems radical. What if healing wasn't something that came from outside, but something that begins inside? What if every breath you take, every thought you think, and every emotion you carry plays a role in your health? This is not a fantasy. It's a truth rooted in both science and ancient wisdom, especially the teachings of Buddhism. In this journey, we will explore the power of healing that lies dormant within you. Through Buddhist insights, real-life stories, and mindful practices, you'll learn how to turn away from dependency and step into your innate strength. This is more than just about healing, it's about reclaiming your life. So take a breath, slow down, and stay with me. Your transformation begins here. Part 1, the secret language between mind and body. Let's begin with something you may have never been taught in school, but you've absolutely experienced. Have you ever been so anxious that your stomach started to churn? Or so heartbroken that you felt actual pain in your chest? What about the tension in your neck and shoulders after just one stressful meeting? These aren't coincidences. They're clues. Your body is speaking the language of your mind. We've been trained to treat the mind and body as separate entities, as if you can go to a therapist for your thoughts and a doctor for your body, and the two never have to meet. But Buddhism offers a different view. A truer view. In Buddhist philosophy, the mind and body are not just connected, they are one. What touches the mind touches the body. What you carry emotionally, you carry physically. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your mind is a still lake. When the surface is calm, the water reflects the sky perfectly. But when the wind blows, or a stone is tossed in, ripples spread. The reflection is distorted. You can no longer see what's beneath. Now imagine your body as that lake. When your mind is calm, your body functions in harmony. Your digestion is smooth, your heart steady, your breath deep. But when the mind is disturbed by worry, fear, or anger, it creates internal waves. Your sleep suffers. Your immune system weakens. Your shoulders tense. You get sick more easily. Not because you were unlucky, but because your mind was sending distress signals to your cells. Still skeptical? Let me ask you this, have you ever had one bad conversation in the morning that ruined your entire day? One negative comment that drained your energy for hours? That's the mind-body connection in action. It doesn't just influence your body. It shapes it. You are what you think. Literally. There's a powerful quote in Buddhist teachings. The mind is the forerunner of all things. Before you eat, before you sleep, before you get out of bed, your thoughts already begin shaping your internal world. Your hormones, your nervous system, your energy. Let's go deeper. Have you ever seen someone who's constantly complaining about their health and they always seem sick? Then you meet someone else who's battling a real illness, yet they radiate light, laugh easily, and somehow recover faster than anyone expected. That's not luck. That's alignment. People often ask me, so are you saying I can think my way out of sickness? No, not exactly. But I am saying that your thoughts can create the internal environment where healing either flourishes or fails. Think of it like a garden. Your body is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. If you plant fear, stress, and self-hatred, don't be surprised when weeds take over. But if you plant peace, love, and patience, growth becomes natural. Healing becomes inevitable. Realization moment. Right now, you may be asking yourself, if my thoughts are this powerful, what have I been planting lately? It's a sobering question, but it's also a hopeful one. Because the moment you realize you've been feeding your body with fear, you can start feeding it with kindness. And this isn't just theory. Modern science now confirms what Buddhist monks have practiced for centuries. Studies show that chronic stress reduces your immune function, while positive emotional states actually help your body fight illness and repair tissue. So here's the truth that most people miss. The body doesn't just heal when you take medicine. It heals when you stop wounding it with your own thoughts. That's why in this journey, before we talk about herbal remedies or meditation techniques, we start here, with your mind. Because if you want to heal your body, you must first make peace with your thoughts. So take a breath with me. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. As the breath leaves your body, imagine your worries leaving too. Imagine your cells relaxing, your heart softening, your body saying, "Thank you." Healing begins the moment we stop fighting ourselves. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Part 2, Meditation, the original medicine. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the cool air enter your body, and now let it go. Do you feel that shift, even the tiniest one? That little pause, that is the doorway to healing. In a world that celebrates speed, noise, and productivity, sitting still might feel rebellious, strange, even uncomfortable. But perhaps that's exactly what we need. Not another task. Not another pill. Just this, a moment of stillness. The restless mind, the restless body. The human mind is like a wild horse. Always galloping, into the past with regret, into the future with anxiety, but rarely resting in the present. And when your mind never rests, your body never heals. Have you ever noticed that even when you lie down, exhausted after a long day, your body is still buzzing? Your jaw is clenched. Your breath is shallow. Your chest feels tight. It's like your body is shouting, "Let me rest," but your mind refuses to give permission. Buddhist monks have known this truth for centuries. A calm mind creates a calm body. A calm body creates space for healing. Meditation is not about silencing your thoughts, it's about becoming friends with them. It's about recognizing the chaos and choosing not to be controlled by it. The story of the man with headaches. Let me tell you a story. There once was a man who suffered from terrible headaches for nearly a decade. He visited doctors, tried painkillers, acupuncture, even changed his diet. Nothing worked. One day, he approached a Buddhist teacher in desperation. The teacher said nothing at first. He simply handed the man a cushion and said, "Sit. Breathe. Do nothing. Every day. For 30 minutes. The man scoffed. "I don't have time for this nonsense," he muttered. But something inside him was tired of fighting. So he tried. The first day, his mind screamed, "This is stupid. This isn't working." The second day, his legs ached. His breath was erratic. But by the end of the first week, something subtle began to shift. His breath deepened. His shoulders softened. The pain in his head lessened. After 2 weeks, the headaches were almost gone. After a month, they didn't return. How? By giving his body what it had been begging for all along, stillness. The science of stillness. This isn't just spiritual poetry. Science now echoes what the monks have always taught. Meditation reduces cortisol, your stress hormone. It lowers blood pressure. It boosts your immune system. It even changes your brain, increasing gray matter in areas related to memory, empathy, and emotional regulation. In short, meditation reprograms your body to heal. You are not your thoughts. Most people live life like this: a thought appears, and they immediately believe it. "I'm not good enough. I'll never get better. I'm too broken to be fixed." Meditation introduces a sacred pause. A chance to observe the thought without merging with it. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them. And in that space between you and your thoughts, something miraculous happens. You begin to see clearly. You begin to breathe more deeply. And healing becomes not something you chase, but something you invite. Anyone can meditate, yes, even you. You don't need a temple. You don't need to cross your legs perfectly or chant in Sanskrit. You don't need to clear your mind. All you need is your breath. A few quiet minutes. And the courage to be still. Whether you're a mother juggling screaming children, a student battling pressure, or a tired soul searching for peace, you can meditate. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. Try this, the 3-breath reset. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, try this simple practice. 1. Sit or stand still. 2. Inhale deeply through your nose, slowly count to 4. 3. Hold the breath for a count of 2. 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth, count to 6. 5. Repeat 3 times. That's it. No fancy apps. No long retreats. Just 3 conscious breaths. Do this before meals. Before a stressful meeting. Before you sleep. You'll be amazed how your body responds. It's been waiting for your permission to heal. So, why meditate? Because your mind is the engine, and your body is the vehicle. If the engine runs smoothly, the vehicle can go far, fast, and peacefully. The Buddha didn't sit under a tree to escape life. He sat to understand it. And through meditation, he discovered the profound truth we're all searching for. Peace doesn't come when life is perfect. Peace comes when the mind is still. And once the mind is still, the body begins to heal. Part 3, Nature, the original healer we've forgotten. Close your eyes for a moment. Now imagine this. You're standing in a quiet forest. Sunlight filters gently through the trees. The wind brushes your skin like a whisper. Birds sing in the distance, not to impress, not to perform, but simply because that's what they do. For a brief moment, your heart slows. Your thoughts soften. You feel human again. This is not an escape. This is a homecoming. In today's fast-paced, screen-obsessed world, we've forgotten something vital. Nature heals. And not metaphorically, but biologically, emotionally, and spiritually. A sacred connection we've lost. Our ancestors didn't live with nature, they lived as part of it. They rose with the sun, ate from the land, drank from rivers, and sat beneath stars that told stories. Healing wasn't a product to be bought. It was a process to be trusted. But now, we live in boxes. Drive in boxes. Work in boxes. And when we're sick, we go to a box with fluorescent lights and expect a pill to do what the forest once could. That's not healing. That's forgetting. Monks and mountains, the original lifestyle medicine. Buddhist monks have long understood the power of nature. Many live in remote forests, on mountaintops, or beside rivers, not to escape society, but to align themselves with something far more ancient than any textbook, the earth. They rise with the sun. They eat simple, plant-based meals grown nearby. They walk barefoot to feel the earth beneath them. They sit in stillness, not just with closed eyes, but with open awareness. When the body is weak, the earth restores it. When the mind is restless, the sky calms it. You see, nature doesn't just surround us. It lives within us. Your breath comes from trees. Your bones are made from the minerals of the soil. The blood in your veins contains the salt of ancient oceans. You are not separate from nature. You are nature remembering itself. Real life healing through nature. Let me share a real story. A friend of mine, Sarah, was suffering from chronic burnout. Sleepless nights, panic attacks, and a sense of numbness she couldn't explain. She tried therapy, supplements, even digital detoxes. Nothing worked until her doctor, surprisingly, told her to go outside. At first, she scoffed. Go outside? That's the prescription? But she tried. Every morning for 1 week, she walked barefoot in her backyard for 15 minutes. No phone. No music. Just her, the grass, the breeze, the birds. By the end of the first week, she noticed something strange. She was sleeping better. Laughing more. Her mind was less cluttered. Within a month, she said, it feels like the earth is pulling the toxins out of me, not just from my body, but from my soul. Nature didn't cure her. It reminded her who she was before the noise. The science behind forest healing. If this all sounds poetic or romantic, here's the science to back it up. A Japanese practice called Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, has been proven to reduce cortisol levels, lower blood pressure, and boost immune function. Exposure to natural light regulates your circadian rhythm, improving sleep. Soil contains a harmless bacterium, Mycobacterium vaccae, that boosts serotonin levels and improves mood. Even looking at a tree through a hospital window can accelerate recovery time. You don't have to live in the wilderness to benefit. Even 20 minutes a day in nature has measurable effects on your nervous system. That means healing is literally outside your front door. Nature teaches us how to heal. Have you ever watched a river flow around a rock? It doesn't resist. It doesn't complain. It simply adapts. It flows. And in doing so, it shapes the landscape over time. That is healing. That is strength. That is wisdom. Nature teaches us in quiet ways. The tree doesn't force itself to grow, it simply reaches for the sun. The moon doesn't rush to shine, it waxes and wanes in rhythm. The seasons don't cling, they change without resistance. What if we stopped fighting our healing process? What if we trusted, like the forest, that everything happens in cycles, and that rest is not a weakness, but a season? Returning to nature, returning to yourself. Here's a small practice for you. No equipment needed. No apps. Just presence. 1. Step outside, barefoot if you can. 2. Stand still. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. 3. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your skin, your breath, your bones. 4. Place your hand on your chest and whisper, I remember. I belong here. Try this once a day. Let it become your medicine. Not because it's mystical, but because it's natural. Because the truth is, healing doesn't require a miracle. It only requires reconnection. So go outside. Let the wind carry your worries. Let the trees remind you of stillness. Let the earth remind you of who you were, before the rush, before the stress, before the forgetting. Nature is waiting. And so is your healing. Part 4, Real Stories, Real Healing, Proof that Change is Possible. We've talked about ideas. We've explored ancient wisdom. We've touched the science. But now, let's make it real. Because healing isn't just a concept, it's something people live. Breathe. Feel. Every single day. Story 1, Jason, the burned-out executive who found stillness. Jason had it all on paper, a 6-figure income, a penthouse apartment, and a rising career in tech. But he also had something else, crippling anxiety, insomnia, and a growing sense that he was fading inside. Doctors gave him sleeping pills. Therapists gave him coping tools. Nothing worked. Out of desperation, he joined a weekend meditation retreat. It wasn't glamorous, simple wooden floors, no phone, and long hours of silence. At first, he hated it. My mind was louder than it had ever been, he confessed. But on the third day, something cracked. Not dramatically. Not mystically. Just a moment, when he watched a leaf fall outside the window and, for the first time in years, he was fully present. Jason didn't become a monk. But he did change his life. He began meditating 15 minutes every morning. He simplified his diet. He started hiking on weekends. And slowly, the anxiety faded. Sleep returned. The light came back into his eyes. I realized I wasn't sick. I was just disconnected. Jason. Story 2, Layla, the grieving mother who learned to let go. Layla lost her 16-year-old daughter in a tragic accident. The grief consumed her. For 2 years, she couldn't sleep through the night. Her body began to shut down. She described it as the slow dying, without dying. In a desperate attempt to escape the darkness, she joined a mindfulness-based grief support group rooted in Buddhist practice. There, she learned something radical. You don't have to let go of the person, but you must let go of the pain's control over you. Through loving-kindness meditation and journaling rituals, she began to speak to her daughter every morning, not in sorrow, but in gratitude. I say, thank you for being my daughter. Thank you for the memories. Then I breathe, and I let her go, for today. Her body began to heal. Her digestion improved. She even laughed again. I carry her, but I don't carry the weight anymore. Layla. Story 3, Arjun, from anger to compassion. Arjun was known for his temper. Every small thing set him off, his coworkers, his wife, even the dog. The anger wasn't just emotional, it was physical. High blood pressure. Chronic migraines. Heart palpitations. He refused therapy, thinking it was weak. But one day, he came across a video on the Buddhist concept of compassion as medicine. It struck him like a thunderbolt. I'm not hurting others. I'm poisoning myself. He began chanting a simple mantra every morning. May all beings be free from suffering, including me. At first, it felt fake. But slowly, the words soaked in. His reaction softened. His migraines decreased. His wife noticed he smiled more. He even hugged his dog. I thought I needed anger to be strong. But it was killing me. Kindness saved my life. Arjun. The hidden lesson in every story. If you listen carefully, every one of these stories has the same pattern. 1. They didn't heal by fixing something broken. They healed by reconnecting, with breath, with silence, with meaning. 2. They didn't wait for a perfect moment. They started exactly where they were, angry, grieving, overwhelmed. 3. They didn't change everything overnight. They made one choice. Then another. Then another. Healing is not a miracle. It is a process, a quiet revolution inside the soul. What's your story? Now pause for a moment. Look at your own life. Where is there tension in your body? Where is there noise in your mind? Where is there a wound you've been carrying, hoping time would fix it? Now ask. What would happen if you stopped trying to fix it and started to listen to it? This is where real healing begins. Not in the hospital. Not in the pharmacy. But in the still, sacred space between awareness and action. You are not alone. These stories aren't rare. They're everywhere. You probably know someone who's already on this journey. You may even be that someone. If you've ever sat quietly with your pain instead of running from it. If you've ever chosen breath over reaction. If you've ever whispered, I don't know how, but I want to heal. Then you've already taken the first step. So here's your reminder, your permission, your invitation. Healing is real. It's possible. And it starts with you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Part 5, Compassion and the Power of Kindness, the Medicine of the Heart. Let me ask you something personal. Can you remember a time, just one moment, when someone was unexpectedly kind to you? Maybe it was a stranger holding the door. A friend listening without judgment. Or a warm smile on a bad day that said, I see you. You matter. Do you remember how your body felt in that moment? Your shoulders softened. Your chest loosened. You breathed a little deeper. You felt safe. Maybe even healed, if just for a heartbeat. That, my friend, was compassion doing its quiet work. In Buddhism, compassion isn't optional, it's essential. In the teachings of the Buddha, compassion, karu, is not weakness. It is not passive. It is power. It is the fire that melts suffering. The light that dissolves shadows. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single flame, and the flame will not be diminished. The Buddha. Compassion is that flame. And the more you give, the more it grows. But here's something most people don't realize. Compassion doesn't begin with others. It begins with you. Self-compassion, the kindness you've been denying yourself. Many of us are experts at being kind to others, but brutal to ourselves. We forgive our friends, but not our own mistakes. We cheer others on, but shame ourselves in silence. We comfort others when they cry, but feel weak when we fall apart. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot heal the world while wounding yourself. Healing begins when we shift the inner dialogue from "I'm not enough" to "I am learning, growing, and worthy of love." Real story, Elena's battle with self-hatred. Elena was a nurse, gentle, strong, always caring for others. But privately, she struggled with deep guilt after a medical mistake early in her career. Even though no one blamed her, she couldn't forgive herself. She developed chronic fatigue and autoimmune issues. No treatment seemed to work. One day, during a Buddhist healing workshop, a teacher said, "The body does not thrive in shame. It thrives in kindness." That hit her like a lightning bolt. She began writing daily forgiveness letters to herself. At first, it felt silly. But day by day, her energy shifted. Her flare-ups reduced. She laughed again. "The moment I stopped punishing myself, my body stopped punishing me." Elena. The biology of kindness. Let's bring in the science. Compassion activates the vagus nerve, which calms the body. It triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone that reduces inflammation. Acts of kindness have been shown to lower blood pressure, boost immunity, and even slow aging. Yes, you read that right. Kindness literally changes your biochemistry. It's not just feel-good fluff. It's medicine. The invisible weight we carry. Anger. Resentment. Jealousy. Shame. These emotions might not be visible, but your body feels them. They become tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, acid in your stomach. Now imagine replacing them with forgiveness, understanding, kindness. Imagine waking up with a heart unburdened, a mind free of grudges, a body no longer bracing for war. This is what compassion does. The story of the candle and the flame. There's an old story of a monk who sat beside a man dying of grief. The man had lost everything. He said, "No words can help me." The monk didn't speak. He simply lit a candle and placed it between them. They sat in silence for an hour. No lectures. No wisdom. Just presence. Just warmth. Finally, the man whispered, "Thank you for not trying to fix me. Just sitting here was enough." Sometimes, being kind is simply being present. That alone can heal. A practice, loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana. Here's a gentle practice to invite compassion into your life. 1. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. 2. Silently repeat these phrases. Oh, may I be well. Oh, may I be free from suffering. Oh, may I be at peace. 3. After a few minutes, bring someone you love into your mind. Oh, may they be well. Oh, may they be free from suffering. Oh, may they be at peace. 4. Then, bring to mind someone neutral. 5. Finally, bring to mind someone who has hurt you. You don't need to feel love. Just plant the seeds. The healing begins there. What if they take advantage of my kindness? A question I hear often. Compassion doesn't mean becoming a doormat. It doesn't mean allowing abuse or saying yes when you mean no. True compassion comes with wisdom. It means recognizing that those who hurt others are often deeply hurt themselves. And it means protecting your peace without losing your humanity. You can say no with love. You can walk away with dignity. You can hold boundaries without closing your heart. Final reflection. Let's rewrite the story. You don't have to be hard to survive. You don't have to be cold to be strong. You don't have to keep your heart armored to be safe. Kindness is not weakness. It is the bravest choice you will ever make. And it is the most powerful medicine you will ever give. Start with yourself. Then let it ripple outward. Because in the end, healing isn't just about being pain-free. It's about being free to love, free to feel, and free to live fully. And that starts with compassion. Part 6. Conscious eating and the wisdom of fasting, feeding the body, nourishing the soul. Let me ask you something few people ever do. When was the last time you truly tasted your food? I don't mean chewing. I mean being present with every bite. Feeling the texture. Savoring the flavor. Giving thanks. Not scrolling. Not rushing. Just eating, only eating. If you can't remember, you are not alone. We live in a world that eats not from hunger, but from habit, from emotion, from emptiness, the hungry mind and the lost connection. In Buddhist teachings, the act of eating is sacred. Every bite is a gift, not just of calories, but of life. But in modern life, food has become something else. A distraction from emotions. A substitute for rest, connection, or peace. A way to fill the hunger of the soul with the weight of the body. You've probably felt this before. You're stressed, so you reach for a snack. You're lonely, so you order more than you need. You're bored, so you open the fridge, even when you're not hungry. This isn't just about willpower. It's about a broken relationship with nourishment. A full stomach can never fill an empty heart. Buddhist proverb. In Buddhist monasteries, eating is a form of meditation. Imagine this. A monk sits silently with a bowl of rice. Before eating, he bows, not to the food, but to all that brought it here. The farmer. The rain. The sun. The earth. The cook. He takes a slow breath, then lifts a spoonful to his mouth, chewing mindfully, tasting gratitude in every grain. There are no phones. No small talk. No mindless multitasking. Only one sacred act, receiving life. Now ask yourself, what would happen if you treated your next meal this way? Emotional eating versus conscious eating. Let's be honest, most of us don't eat to nourish. We eat to numb. To silence the ache of emotions we don't want to feel. But here's the truth. When we eat while angry, we digest anger. When we eat while anxious, our body tightens and resists. But when we eat with calm, love, and awareness, we absorb life itself. Food eaten with mindfulness becomes medicine. Food eaten in ignorance becomes poison. Buddhist teaching. Try this, the one-bite practice. Choose one simple food, a piece of fruit, a bite of rice. 1. Look at it. Observe the colors, textures. 2. Smell it. Let the aroma enter your body. 3. Take a bite. Chew slowly. 4. Notice what arises, flavors, sensations, even emotions. 5. Give thanks, not just mentally, but with presence. Try this once a day. It will change the way your body receives nourishment. And it may even heal your relationship with food. The healing power of fasting, not starvation, but stillness. Now let's talk about something many fear, fasting. We're conditioned to believe that eating all the time equals strength. That hunger is dangerous. That we'll lose energy or get sick if we skip a meal. But Buddhist monks have lived for centuries on 2 meals a day, sometimes 1, and remain strong, clear, vibrant. Why? Because the body doesn't just need food. It needs space. When you stop feeding the body constantly, It begins to feed itself with wisdom. Fasting isn't punishment. It's permission for the body to reset, to digest not just food, but stress, emotion, and stored trauma. What happens when you fast, even briefly? Your digestive system rests, freeing up energy for healing. Your body begins cellular repair, clearing damaged tissues. Your mental clarity increases as inflammation reduces. You realize you're not going to die from a little hunger. In fact, you begin to remember your strength. And more than that, you remember, I am not a slave to craving. I can sit in stillness, and I will be okay. The wisdom of animals. Watch animals in the wild. When they're sick, they don't overeat. They stop. They rest. They fast. They trust the body to know what to do. But humans? When we're unwell, we consume more. More food. More pills. More noise. We try to force healing when what we need is quiet. Sometimes, not eating is the most powerful nourishment of all. Balance, not extremes. This isn't a call to starve yourself or adopt rigid rules. It's a call to awareness, to choice. Some days, your body will ask for a full, hearty meal. Other days, it may ask for simplicity. A pause. A sip of warm tea instead of a full plate. Listen. Trust. Honor. When the stomach is quiet, the mind becomes clear. And in that silence, the body begins to speak. Final reflection. Let me leave you with this thought. What you eat matters. But how you eat matters even more. And sometimes, when you don't eat, you discover what your soul was actually craving. So the next time you sit down for a meal, ask, am I feeding my body? Or am I feeding my emptiness? Is this hunger from the stomach? Or from the heart? And then, choose with presence. Because food is not just fuel. It is energy. It is prayer. It is connection. And when eaten consciously, it becomes pure healing. Part 7, Letting Go, the final gateway to healing. Take a deep breath. Inhale fully. Now let it go. Feel that? That release, that moment of surrender, that's what this part is all about. Because healing is not always about doing more. Sometimes it's about carrying less. What are you still carrying? We all have invisible backpacks. We stuff them full of regrets from the past, guilt that no longer serves us, grudges we forgot we were holding, expectations that life should have gone differently. And day after day, we carry them. Silently. Heavily. Is it any wonder our bodies ache? Your body whispers what your heart is still clinging to. We think pain lives in our shoulders, our chest, our gut. But often, it lives in the memories we haven't released. The hand holding fire. There's a famous Buddhist image. A man clutches a burning coal tightly in his fist. He screams in pain. He cries for help. And the Buddha gently asks, "Why do you not let go?" The man answers, "Because I'm angry." The coal burns not because of the fire, but because of the grip. So ask yourself, what burning coal are you still holding? What resentment? What shame? What should have been are you gripping so tightly that it's now burning you from the inside? The leaf that let go. In autumn, leaves don't fight the fall. They don't cling to branches saying, "But I'm not ready." They release. They surrender. And in doing so, they make way for new life to bloom. Can you do the same? Can you let go of who you thought you should be? Can you forgive someone who never apologized? Can you stop replaying the same painful memory, hoping it ends differently? Letting go doesn't mean the pain didn't matter. It means you matter more than the pain. A story of forgiveness and freedom. Dinesh, a student I met during a retreat, had been estranged from his father for 15 years. When his father died suddenly, Dinesh was crushed, not just by grief, but by all the unspoken anger still inside him. He came to me and said, "I don't know how to move forward. I never got closure." I told him, "Closure isn't something others give you. It's something you choose for yourself." We sat together under a tree. He closed his eyes. He breathed deeply. And then, for the first time, he whispered aloud, "I let it go." That day, he didn't fix the past, but he freed the future. What letting go really means. Letting go is not forgetting. It's not pretending you weren't hurt. It's not erasing the past. It is simply accepting that the past is no longer here. And you are. It's saying, "I no longer need this weight to prove I was wounded. I can grieve and grow at the same time. I release what I cannot change, and I choose peace anyway." This is not weakness. It's the ultimate strength. Practice the simple release meditation. Try this when you feel heavy with emotion. 1. Sit or lie down quietly. 2. Take 3 deep breaths. 3. Place your hand on your heart. 4. Whisper softly or silently, "Oh, I see you. Oh, I forgive you. Oh, I let you go." Repeat this for yourself or for someone else. Do it daily for 7 days. You may cry. You may feel nothing. You may feel a wave of peace. Whatever comes, let it come. Let it go. A gentle reminder. You don't have to carry that old story anymore. You don't have to prove your pain to be worthy of healing. You are not your past. You are not your scars. You are not the person who got hurt. You are the one who is still standing, still breathing, still capable of starting again. So take a deep breath. And with your next exhale, release. Release the old pain. Release the blame. Release the fear that says you'll fall apart without it. You won't. You'll rise. Final transformation, embracing a life of true well-being. Take a moment. Place your hand gently over your heart. Can you feel it beating? That steady rhythm. That quiet song. It's been with you all along. You are alive. You have breath. And in this very moment, you are healing. Not because something outside of you changed, but because you changed the way you see yourself. The journey we walk together. You began this journey with a question, perhaps even a silent ache. Is there more to healing than just medicine? And now, look how far you've come. Together, we explored the deep, unseen connection between mind and body. The ancient stillness of meditation, where healing begins. The quiet wisdom of nature, always waiting to welcome you home. Real stories of real people who found healing not in a pill, but in presence. The unmatched power of compassion, starting with your own heart. The forgotten art of conscious eating and the clarity found in fasting. And the liberating truth that letting go is not giving up, it's setting yourself free. But this was never just about learning. It was about remembering. Healing isn't a destination, it's a way of being. There is no magic moment where you're suddenly fixed. No single breath that erases all pain. No ritual that guarantees you'll never feel lost again. Because healing isn't a final point. It's a daily practice. A way of moving through life with softness, curiosity, and courage. It's the choice, every day, to pause before reacting. Breathe before rushing. Forgive before hardening. Rest before pushing. Listen before judging. And love, even when it hurts. The body is not the enemy. Your body is not broken. It's not failing you. It's speaking to you. It says, slow down. Be gentle. Feel this. Let go. Let me heal. And when you listen, not with fear, but with compassion, miracles unfold. Not loud, dramatic ones, but the quiet kind. A good night's sleep. A lighter step. A deeper breath. A sense of peace where panic used to live. You already have what you seek. Everything you need is already within you. Your breath is your anchor. Your mind is your garden. Your body is your temple. Your heart is your compass. And your spirit, unshakable, quiet, wise, is your true home. You don't have to chase healing anymore. You simply need to allow it. A commitment to yourself. Right now, make a promise. Not to be perfect. Not to never fall again. But to always return. Return to stillness. Return to compassion. Return to your inner wisdom. Say it softly, like a vow. I will treat myself like someone worth healing. Because you are. This is not the end. This isn't goodbye. This is the start of a new chapter. One where healing is not something you seek, but something you live. One where you wake up and ask, what does my body need today? How can I live with more kindness, more awareness, more grace? And as you ask, the answers will come. Not all at once, but step by step, breath by breath. A final blessing. May you trust your body's wisdom. May your breath lead you back to peace. May you choose presence over perfection. And may you remember, you are not broken. You are becoming. And your healing, gentle, quiet, sacred, has already begun.